the fool is done. I'll do it till the sun goes down. And I'll really knock it down. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. Start with the rocket down. I put my arm so you want some of yeah. I put my arm so you want some of yeah. I put my arm so you want some of yeah. I put my arm so you
everybody. Welcome back to Transsexual Sunday with Diana Salami. Well, today we've got a few good things to talk about. You know, you saw my little promo. I'm going to tell that story. It's kind of funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time. Well, we did have a nice program planned with Miss Kelly and I, but she has the flu. Poor baby, I saw her on cam and she really is sick. So lucky that she has Ian there, her fiance, to take care of her. Otherwise, I don't think she would make it. So we're going to look forward to that. It'll be in a couple of weeks because I do believe, keep our fingers crossed, that I've got Miss Judy scheduled for next week. And you know, Miss Judy is a transsexual icon. She's 80 years old. She lives in Las Vegas. And I'm so excited to talk to her about the old days and her transitioning in New York City and working in the big clubs back then where you had to sing with your own voice and all that. She knew Candy Darling and all those people. I'll put up some pictures of Miss Judy to remind y'all that don't know who Miss Judy is, but most everybody does. That's right. So now I guess we can get into everything. You know, we're not here to groom anybody. So anybody under 18 needs to either click out of here or have a parent with you, because we're not here to groom anybody. No, most of us are older and we're just busy trying to groom ourselves. How you like our new background here? I thought, well, that's the close as I can get to a pride flag. It's got all the rainbow colors. That's as close as I'm going to get, y'all. It is what it is. I have no trans pride. I have pride in the woman that I am, the woman I was able to be, the life. I mean, you out there that want to say, well, you're not a woman. Let's just say I lived 50 years as a successful woman. I traveled this world, did what I wanted to do, chose any career I wanted to do, and succeeded at it as a female. And as a male, I was a dud. I was an unhappy mess. So if you don't agree with it, I don't give a shit. Because I'm at the end of my life. I'll close my eyes for the last time and I say, Lord, if I come back another life, please make me right. Either right here or right down there. One of, I don't care. I don't care. If I could have been a male, I would have been a male. You would not have seen me at 50, 60, and 70 years old transitioning to make a fool out of myself and my family. No, I wouldn't have. That's just pure selfish. The only way that it is successful is for people that cannot live successfully in the gender that they were assigned at birth. Now, we're not going to get into all that today. Wait till when me and Miss Kelly talk, because we're going to talk about detransitioners and all these non-binary people. So be ready. We'll cut them down then. Because like I said, I don't give a shit. Am I nice? I think I am to most people. But when it comes to these issues, I'm not nice. No. Because I will not be judged by what those people are doing when I have lived a much more elevated life than that. Okay, so let's get into my little story. Okay, back in the late 70s, because I had surgery in 77, and then I got married for the first time in 79. I was 20 years old whenever I had my surgery. So by the time I was about 23, I was going through some hard times with my husband. He was an alcoholic and he did drugs and stuff. So I was making plans to leave him already. And about this time, my aunt, who was my cousin Jean, the one that we have our store together, her mother left her husband and moved to North Carolina where I lived. And so we hung out a lot. She was my mama's baby sister. So her age was somewhere between mine and my mother. So she was hip and beautiful, and she had come out of an abusive relationship, and she wanted to have a good time. So I took her out. We went to the discos, and we just had a blast. Of course, I was married, but I was already going through trying to figure out what I was going to do. So when her and her husband decided to try to work it out, she said, please go with me, because she knew I was wanting to separate from my husband. She said, please go with me. Maybe it will keep down some of the problems. So I went, and I got a job. I lived there about 6 months. I got a job in a department store in Columbus, Mississippi. And I was trying to get myself ready to go into a new life as a single woman. And I hang around with Jean and her sister Tammy out in the country on the farm where they were living. And I remember one night, a bunch of men came in to where we were all sitting around drinking our little bourbon and Coke, playing cards. And they all left and went over to somebody else's house to drink. The men was, you know men are, especially country men, they want to talk about hunting and fishing and ball and all that kind of stuff while they're drinking. And the subject came to me. Who is that beautiful girl there? One of them said, I'd like to ask her out if she's single. Well, somebody had to tell them that I was a sex change. And those good old boys got it in their minds, since I had tricked them simply by sitting there playing cards, drinking. I've never been a flirt. I've never been somebody that winked at somebody or something. No, I never have been that way. So they decided they was going to talk about lynching me, that they ought to take me out in the woods and get a rope and hang my queer ass. simply because they found me attractive. It hurt their feelings. Plus, they were drunk. Well, another one of my cousins, Ann, her husband was there in that group. Of course, he didn't take up for me. He was probably to say, I'll get the rope. He has since changed over all these years. Well, that was very early in my life, you know. He had never known me before. He had only known me as Diana. He had no idea anything about how I looked or anything before my transition. But he was one of these manly men who believed like they did. Now, through the years, though, he's mellowed out. He'll say, hey, gal, when he sees me. So, over time, they all learn who you are. They learn that you're not some kind of weird freak out there. You're just doing everything like everybody else does. Day in, day out. Month in, month out, year and decade. And you're still the same. They know it's not an act. So they eventually say, well, I just accept it. And he does. But at that time, he was not. And he had told his wife what was said. And his wife told my aunt. And my aunt had the biggest fit on his head. She let him have it. Why he didn't at least take up, this was kinfolks you could have took up for somebody. There wasn't no reason for this shit. But when they told me, I made my way back to North Carolina like the next day or so. I had to go because I had no idea that kind of feelings would go on, especially since I wasn't out somewhere looking for somebody. I wasn't out at some club trying to pretend to be a woman. I wasn't trying to pick up somebody. I was sitting somewhere having a cocktail, playing cards. So whether or not they'd actually hung me, I doubt it. It was a bunch of drunk men. But it scares the hell out of you when you know they've been talking about you in that kind of way. It don't make you feel good at all to think somebody said they would hang you from a tree. No. So I left. And I went back home to North Carolina. And didn't move back here until 1993. Maybe about 10 years later, I moved back. And I've never had any problems as far as people trying to harass me or say anything bad to me. No, these people have shown me respect. That's not to say they probably have different opinions in private. And I don't care. I've always been the type, you don't have to like me, but I wish you would be nice to my face. And I'll be nice to your face. We won't have no problems if we just be cordial to one another. So that's my little story. It's not very long. So I hope y'all will be looking back for next week. Give me some comments on how you like my new background. My new pride background. Okay, y'all. Y'all have a good Sunday. Love y'all.